unheard of any train derailment here in this country.
Well, that's well, the train derailment can happen anywhere around the world, and the more train services you have, the more, of course, you're also likely to experience some of these incidents from time to time. Fairly common in Pakistan and India, I mean, one would say.
And the US.
Yes, and occasionally the US. So what are the issues, what are the factors that, as you pointed out, could it be human error? Could it be sabotage of the rail tracks? Because if you saw what happened along the Takbe-Warri rail service, it appeared that the track was cut off at some point. And you need a continuous flow of track for the services to go on. And no train can stop automatically.
Of course not. So given the speed again.
The speed, and it takes a while for a train to come to a halt, even once it perceives some obstacle or danger ahead. But these are some of the issues we shall be talking about as the government is seeking to revitalize train services. What are the threats present and, of course, in the future that should be taken account of? So that's the point on which we'd like to welcome you to this edition of the flagship program on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. It's Good Morning Nigeria live on the network service once again from our Abuja headquarters studios.
I am Claire Adilabu Abdul Razak. Thank you also for joining us as I join Kingsley to welcome you. Highlights of the morning news will be coming up shortly and with Frama Pai. And don't also forget that we'll be having business news. You may want to sit by to get some business tips for your morning pleasure. And much later, Chukwudi Okodigbaja will be joining us for a review of today's highlights of the newspapers. So, Frama, I'm sure you must have had a jolly good ride on one of the train services, have you?
Unfortunately, I haven't, but I look forward to it.
I'm sorry about that.
Good morning, Claire. Good morning, Kingsley. Good morning, Nigerians. And here is the morning news. State-of-the-art legacy projects executed by federal government in the areas of power supply, transportation, as well information and communications technology have been inaugurated in Kano to enhance the nation's socio-economic development. President Muhammadu Buhari performed the ceremony during a one-day official visit to the Center of Commerce.
For your foresight and for the infrastructure you are putting to make not only medical tourism but other tourism are necessary.
Similarly, three-layered ultra-modern flyover and interchange executed by the Ganduje administration to, amongst other, enhance the beauty of Kano City has been formally declared open for use by motorist public. The critical infrastructure named after President Muhammadu Buhari is one of the several other state government projects inaugurated by the Nigerian leader during his official visits to Kano.
They are fantastic. We thank God.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says effective and operation of cashless policy in Nigeria can help tackle illicit election financing. And Vice President Osinbajo, who stated this, equally encourages provision of more infrastructure useful for financial inclusion. 100 youths selected from the 27 local government areas of Borno State are undergoing a 5-day training in skills empowerment program courtesy of the federal government. The training, organized by the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NASENI, in collaboration with the Borno State government, is targeting skills modernization and equipping of the youth in the area of vulcanization. 500 units of modern smokeless stoves were also distributed to vulnerable women to combat climate change.
In order to restore the infrastructural facilities that is damaged in this state and to build new ones for progress, it is necessary to do what Mr. President has done.
Now, federal government will deploy point-of-sale agents for cash transfers during the National Social Safety Net program. Scale Up Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, said this while hosting the Executive Director, Angola, Nigeria, South Africa constituency of the World Bank Group, Ms. Ayonda Lodlo in Abuja. The program will cost $800 million and is to take off in 2023. The National Social Safety Net Program Scale Up is to be implemented by the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development.
Working on having all of the database that is required. So there's the rapid response register that has been set up and is being expanded. There's also a pipeline of agents network that are being put in place, working with the banking system and other financial services, so that on the approval of the National Assembly, we'll be able to quickly start deploying the funds that will be disbursed by the bank.
Department of State Services has intercepted some members of an organized syndicate involved in the sales of newly redesigned Naira notes. A statement by the spokesperson of the DSS, Dr. Peter Afunaya, indicates that the DSS operatives in course of its operations in some parts of the country established that some commercial bank officials are aiding the economic malfeasance. Consequently, the service wants currency racketeers to desist from the ignoble act while urging appropriate regulatory authorities to set up monitoring and supervisory activities to address the emerging trends. DSS command and formations have also been directed to ensure that all persons and groups engaging in the illegal sales of new notes are arrested and prosecuted. And that's the news for now. Good Morning Nigeria continues with Claire and Kingsley after this break.
Doctor, is the people they say Tinubu can Doctor, let's hear what they say Tinubu la sound, the people they shout Tinubu we want. Even from the house they say Tinubu make us all our country people they talk with one voice. Them say na Asiwaju Bola Tinubu them want as president of Nigeria for this president election.
Asiwaju Bola Tinubu na the man wey we all know and see all the good work in they do for we country, especially when him be governor of Lagos State.
Now him God use turn Lagos to the best state for Nigeria.
Today, many people all over Nigeria they like to go Lagos, go settle down for business and better life.
And because of the good work when Bola Tinubu do,
people of Nigeria, as Asiwaju do for Lagos, now so him ready to do am for the whole country.
Vote Asiwaju Bola Tinubu for president of Nigeria. Vote Kashim Shettima as vice president. Vote APC, the party we get a broom. We want
The 21st edition of the PNB Administration Scorecard Series
will feature the Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Otumba Adenia Debayo. Date Tuesday, 31st January 2023. Time 10:30 a.m. Venue National Press Center, Radio House, Abuja. The event will be broadcast live by NTA, FRCN and VON and streamed on the social media handles of the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. Announcer Mrs. Lydia Shehu Jafia, MNI, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
The Aerial Assurance Challenge.
Oh, thank you. But what assurance can you give our daughter?
Everything. With the new look Aerial, I can even do the laundry.
Prove it then.
Okay. Let's make this stain even tougher. Now, let's wash the cloth with your detergent and with new look Aerial. Do you believe me now?
Aerial, now in a new look pack.
This is to invite the general public to the commissioning of Malam Alu Agro Allied Company Limited, an unveiling of the tallest flagpole in Nigeria. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, host Honorable Farouk Adamu Aliyu, Chairman, Malam Alu Agro Allied Company Limited. Date 31st January 2023. Venue Birnin Kudu, Jigawa State. Time 12 p.m. prompt. Announcer Mansour Dao Aliyu, Group General Manager, Malam Alu Agro Allied Company Limited.
What What is happening? Your eyes are red. You are armed with a machete and a gun.
See, I am angry and I can't even contain it. See.
My guy, calm down.
See,
calm down.
See, Oga. I have planned to go and destroy these people's businesses in the city. I have to retaliate for what they've done at our own place. They cannot eat their cake and have it now, never.
If you destroy their business here, and they destroy that of those close to you over there, especially that your brother who sends you steady cash, how would you survive? Would your dreams be on hold?
See, what you're saying is correct. But I'm still angry.
The best way is to embrace peace. With peace and unity,
my people, let us embrace peace and unity. Let's learn to live as brothers and sisters for a progressive, prosperous nation. This message is brought to you from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
All right, welcome back. It's Good Morning Nigeria, live on the network service. Time to talk business, and tax experts are saying active investment in real estate will contribute significantly to the growth of gross domestic product. Kunde Adeye has the details.
With housing deficit in Nigeria, tax experts are calling for more investments in the real estate sector. They say major investments and enabling business reforms in the sector can help governments increase its revenue from the sector through land-based taxes, improved tax revenue, and widen the tax nets. A tax expert, Dr. Kennedy Iwondo, said real estate is one of the industries with the highest global recognition.
If those that are into real estate will understand real estate taxation, government will generate a lot of revenue, and it will also help them do better in their business. Like today, we are giving them exposures of so many taxes they are going to encounter during their real estate transaction. So ignorance of law is not an excuse, but it's not good for one to have ignorance. It's good for you to let people know what they're supposed to do so they can do it very well. If you're a Nigerian and you're working and making the money, you need to pay your tax. That's the only contribution you have for the country. The only contribution any individual have for his country is to pay tax.
And the details of Monday's tradings on the floor of the exchange. With business news, I'm Kunle Adeye.
All right, many thanks for the business package. Up next for us now is newspaper review.
And let's welcome our newspaper reviewer, Chukwudi Okule Ubaja, right in the studio. Chukwudi, good morning.
Hello, Claire. Good morning. Good morning, Kingsley.
Good morning, Chukwudi, and nice to see you this morning.
Same here.
Okay. Thank you. Let's begin by taking a look at the front page of Daily Sun newspaper. There's an earpiece beside the name flag. It says, New Notes. Amid CBN 11 days grace, cash shortage worsens. Banks, ATMs dispense limited new notes. DSS busts syndicates selling new Naira notes. Suspects name bank officials. Details on pages 5 and 25. INEC must address vote buying and underage voting to gain trust. That's on page 26. NLC mass protests loom over fuel and Naira scarcity. Labour mobilizes, schools shut as groups express anger, and petrol prices rise above post-subsidy benchmark of 410 Naira per litre. Terror alert, security agencies foiled 10 threats on FCT, that's according to the minister. And federal government supports U.S. visa ban on democracy saboteurs. Says Buhari will go on May 29th. PDP candidate taunts APC counterpart, tells him what Aso Rock isn't. You get the details there. Buhari commissions NSIA 10 megawatts solar power project. My administration has done well, says President. Atiku will grant Nnamdi Kanu unconditional release if elected president. That's according to the campaign council. And lastly, at the foot of the front page there, Nigeria at high risk of increased Lassa fever transmission. That's attributed to the NCDC. Claire.
Yes, and let's take a look at Al Jazeera. And Al Jazeera is also leading with fuel crisis. It says long queues nationwide. Scarcity persists. Comes with two riders. Pump price hits 700 naira per litre. Pump price hits 700 naira per litre. Situation taking toll on economic activities. And protesters to begin sit at home in Edo. Protesters to begin sit at home in Edo. Naira redesign. Over 17 million diaspora Nigerians can't exchange old notes. You can read up details of that on page 5. New notes, of course, bank customers load CBN on deadline extension is on page 15. And Diziani approaches court to recover seized assets, page 14. Now, we are on top of security situation in the FCT. Minister, that is the FCT minister. And on the other side of the paper, federal government backs U.S. visa ban on election riggers. This is that on page 5. Resident doctors shelved strike in public interest. President, page 4. You can read that up on page 4. And of course, the project inauguration in Kanu yesterday is stopping just a bit under the nameplate of Al Jazeera. Buhari inaugurates Dala Inland Dry Port and 10 megawatts of solar power energy. That's on page 14. I think that's the outlook of this paper, the Al Jazeera, this Tuesday morning. Chukwudi Ukulu-Gbaja, this is your pick.
I think we should praise some news editors for their untiring effort, at reporting the fuel crisis. Otherwise, it's become such a monotonous subject, even though in terms of the toll it's taking on us, it's really shaking the earth, and that's not good for any of us.
You can say that again.
Long queues reported, at filling stations. They are saying that in Lagos, for instance, the major oil marketers, if you're lucky to squeeze in there and get to the pump, get to the pump, 350, 400. But of course, that is the major marketers. They are saying this is up from 175 about 2 months ago. If you go to the pumps that are supplied by the independent marketers, the story is a different thing. About that one, about 700 naira being the pump price. It's a bulldozer, a piece of information to listen to. I don't know how anyone could possibly buy fuel for 700 naira per litre and hope to make any gain. If there are people who work in the bureaucracy, you begin to ask yourself whether within 1.5 weeks they're not going to fritter away all the money, all their salary, on fuel. I think something needs to be done about this fuel matter.
A sister who came in, for the break from outside the country, as we drove around Abuja, and she saw the jerry cans, the black marketers, just selling right opposite fuel stations. She asked, how come you have these people selling in jerry cans and the fuel stations don't have fuel?
That one defies any logic.
I just laughed.
It is a stupid site.
I didn't have an answer.
And maybe it labels impunity because those people are not manufacturing fuel in their households. They're getting them from people who are supposed to sell to us.
From the petrol attendants. In fact, some of those people are owned by petrol attendants. They are owned by those who sell fuel at the fuel stations. So you see, we are doing ourselves.
Oh, sure. The suburb I live in, there are these two filling stations that never ever run out of fuel. And they sell for 380, 370. Then the ones that are supposed to sell to us